Big game James back in the building. I took a little hiatus. So I had some things going on. Apologize about that, but just want to jump in here and let's talk about the topic at hand, which is Stephen Baby Nuts Jones. There's a reason why I gave this dude a name, Baby Nuts Jones. Gave it to him last year, and then I think that's just going to be your name because Baby Nuts means you're scary and you're conservative, and that's what you just are. You're always talking about the cap and can't spend this money, can't do that. Ever since Brandon Carr messed your brain up, you don't want to touch nothing out there. We ain't going out there and jumping out and getting no free agents because we spending all that money on them and they ain't doing it. Well, here's the thing. You ain't spending no money on nobody else and ain't doing it. So how's it going to hurt you? You feel what I'm saying? Talking about, well, hey, we're certainly glad, when they asked him that question about the Rams and how they went all in. You should have seen his face. Go make sure you go check out that interview, but you should have seen his face. Yeah, he says, hey, congratulations to the Rams and what they did. We could do some things that would allow us to keep most of our guys. We could. You hear what it says? You hear what he says about that? We could do some things that would allow us to keep most of our guys. If we wanted to push it all out, we could do it. We could do it. But there's always the but with this sorry sucker. But then when we'd have a much bigger problem next year and the year after that, cap money, and we be in cap hell. Well, you must not have confidence in your coaches. You must not have confidence in your staff, and you must not have confidence that y'all can get over the hump when spending that money. So that means you're going to go conservative. Let's stay with the draft and build through the draft. Nothing but building through the draft. You keep your cheap players and win, but you ain't winning. So here's the theory. Your theory is sign your own, win through the draft, build through the draft, and sign minimum free agents unless you see a great deal, because that's what you said. It's got to be a great deal for it to happen. So the funny thing is that way that you're doing isn't working. You've been doing it for a while now, and it's not working. I guess maybe since you really just took over, Steven, with that money thing, it's that's what we just gotta let it take its time, bruh. First of all, you undercut your coach A1 day one. You got your coach as a lame duck coach. What do you think is going to be a great year this year? He's a lame duck status. You have your owner, who's your daddy, telling him, "Oh, I wouldn't mind a Sean Payton. I love him. He's great. Dan Quinn can definitely, he could be a Dallas coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Your wonder boy and Kellen Moore, who you specifically said you're the one that loves him, so that's why he's coming back. All those things are not bringing even a championship. You did all that last year, and this was a 12-5 season. And what happened? Still a first-round exit. Again, this is becoming the norm in Dallas, mediocre. But as long as that brand is kicking, it's okay. Because guess what? When they first asked you, the first question you did in that interview was about the NFL Combine. That's where you're at right now. That's where they were interviewing. And what'd you say? Oh, your eyes lit up. Your eyes beamed up when you talked about, the Dallas Cowboys definitely want to get that combine. We heard that's in it. We know it's in Indianapolis this year, but it's going to be an open door next year. So we definitely want to be one of the guys that are getting it. Why? So you can go ahead and push that brand again. Everybody's talking about Dallas. Everybody's in Dallas. Dallas stays in the news, and that's where you keep getting your money. So in Cap Boy, like my dude Mike White says, calling you Cap Boy, you have the Cap Super Bowl every year. You're winning it because you ain't spending that much money. And even with this Cap Super Bowl, and with this saving the money of the cap, you're still in the cap per target, or whatever the word is. You're still in this cap hell. Oh, well, when you sign franchise quarterbacks, it's almost like you always crying and complaining. Oh, when you sign franchise quarterbacks or something, everybody else can't get a piece of the pie. Well, what? If you spread it out, or is Dallas winning? If you spread the money out and if you didn't sign Dak, you didn't have to wait to sign Dak for them 2 years. You didn't want to. But if you had money good across the board and you weren't in cap hell and you had money to spend, you're not going to spend it. And if you spend it on your own ain't good enough to win, because that just showed it. Your coaches must not be good enough to win. So what's really going on here? You undercut your coaches. You make them keep one coordinator that he didn't say he wanted. You said you wanted him because you were probably maybe grooming him. You feel me? It's just the same old thing. They're asking you questions about this system. I think Boss Cowboys posted it earlier today, but I had already seen it. I already talked about it in my head when they were asking him about Amari Cooper. He vehemently cut that off real quick. He ain't want to talk nothing about no Amari Cooper. That tells me something. That tells me you probably gone. And I said something in a tweet, and when I dropped on my Big Game James community page. I said, when you're rebellious in Dallas, you're gone. Somebody said, Amari ain't been rebellious. Yes, he has. He's been rebellious this year in their eyes because, number one, they want everybody vaccinated. He ain't get vaccinated. And then he went around with no mask on. They didn't like that. Going to Dallas games that they see in their face. Going to Alabama games. And guess what? You got to fine him $14,000. You know what I mean? And guess what? They're going to cut him on his targets this year. Why? Because they don't owe him no more guaranteed money. And we don't want to pay you unless you're being the good old boy. Guess what? Des Bryant, he wasn't a good old boy. Was there a negotiation with his contract? No, he just got cut. Cole Beasley, he wasn't being a good old boy. You heard what he said. The front office dictates who gets the ball. That's what he said. The front office. The front office. He didn't say the coaches. He didn't say the coaches. He said the front office dictates who gets the ball. Who's in the front office? Beasley didn't get the ball. And when he was talking that trash about Scott Linehan, what happened? Gone. And it's going to happen to Amari Cooper. What happened? He got in that media and they said, why aren't you getting these targets? Why aren't you the guy? I don't know. It ain't my fault. I don't tell people who to get the ball to. All I can do, go out and do what I can do. But guess what? If I get the ball, I'm one of the best in the league. I'm best tops all the way through. But I can't be the best in the league when I'm not receiving the targets. You're the third most targeted player on the team, but you got one of the biggest contracts on the team, and you have the skills and the ability. So we hear about talking and signing our own. Well, I just think it's a bunch of BS because you ain't doing that. And when your own comes up, they have to fight tooth and nail to get their deal. And when they get a deal, it's only for a few years, and it's like you got a window. Well, if there's that window and you ain't putting all your chips in, then what's the point? You get what I'm saying? It's almost like you're just playing the deadly game of we're going to stay competitive, stay in the limelight, will always be talked about, and let's hope we get a championship in this. It's not, we won a championship. That's the only thing we want, and we'll do anything to get it. That's not the mentality in Dallas. You just heard Stephen Jones say, hey, that's the way they're doing it. We ain't going all in like that. We're going to slow-foot it. We're going to build to the draft, and we're going to do it this way. That way ain't working, but you're going to keep on seeing it because he thinks it is. You know why? Because as long as that money keep coming through. As I said, you get all excited about that combine. You get excited as hell to host another Super Bowl there. You get excited as hell to bring boxing there. You get excited as hell to shift. You could bring a NASCAR over there. You got excited as hell when you got the college NCAA championship there. That's your claim to fame right now. That's your claim to fame. It ain't nothing on the field. That's your claim to fame. Getting all those venues to the Dallas Cowboys so you can get more money. That's your claim to fame, Dallas. It ain't these players. And guess what? I feel bad for you, Michael Parsons. I feel bad for you, Trevin Diggs. I feel bad for any of you players that are shining because, see, that everybody love you now, right? And especially they love you right now because you're cheap. You ain't costing a lot of money. But wait, everybody love Michael Parsons. Wait till Michael Parsons come up and get another 10, 15 sacks year in and year out. Huh? Yeah, they're going to be saying, oh, guess what? Yeah, we love Michael. We love Michael to death. But can't just be oversigning players just like that. He's going to say the same thing about Micah. He's going to say the same thing about Trevin Diggs. He's going to say the same thing about every single player and that money. But meanwhile, you crying about you don't want to sign your own or, man, we got to wait. We got to figure this out. We got to figure this out. You ain't winning, bro. That style ain't working. You just scary. Ever since that Brandon Carr thing messed you up, you want to get conservative. Conservative don't win. Conservative can keep you competitive. Conservative can definitely keep you competitive and keep you in the mix, but it will never get you over the hump. Being conservative will never get you over the hump. You had a conservative coach in Jason Garrett. The only reason why I didn't get rid of him because 10 years, people would say, we ain't trying to listen to that stuff no more. But you still keep the Jason Garrett elements in there with the Kellen Moore and things of that nature. You got Mike McCarthy out there looking like a straight dummy. Got to answer questions about Sean Payton all the time because you Jones just want to throw it out there. You feel me? And you make him a lame duck coach. And I ain't saying Mike McCarthy is perfect in this. But you know what? When I keep on hearing people saying he was being all hands off with Kellen Moore, yeah, he probably was because after you get cut like you were with the way the Joneses was, why would I try to save Kellen when y'all don't give a F about me? You feel me? Cowboys showed you. Y'all don't give a F about me as a coach. So why should I sit there and be over there helping Kellen all the time? Y'all don't understand that? Bro, how would you feel if you were head coach of the Dallas Cowboys? I'm talking about Sean Payton possibly or Dan Quinn getting your job. Them ain't good work conditions. And Mike McCarthy has won. Like I said, I ain't saying he's the greatest coach in the world, but he has won games. He's won plenty of games, and he has won a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers, which nobody else has. The other coach they got over there, he ain't won a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers, but Mike McCarthy did. So they say he's a little bit lazy. I can get that because they were saying that stuff over in Green Bay. So, like, Mike McCarthy isn't blameless in this. But the whole fact of the matter is you brought a coach over here and you didn't let him coach. You're still all on that cap money. You're still talking about guys. Well, when you talk about Ezekiel Elliott, they asked him about Tony Pollard at Mike McCarthy at the combine. Hey, basically he said, we want to give Tony Pollard the ball too, but we can't when the top guys are saying no. Don't tell me they ain't. When you sit there and hear Stephen Jones talking about Ezekiel Elliott. Why? Because they signed him. Remember, he always said, Ezekiel Elliott, he's the straw that stirs the drink. Yeah, he's the star that stirs the drink. Stephen Jones on Ezekiel Elliott. I want that guy on my team, 12.5 mil. You talk about playing through some injuries, he's a competitor. For sure. I think he's a damn good running back. But guess what? Here's the key. Obviously, you said all that stuff. Obviously, his money is guaranteed. What did they ask you about Ezekiel Elliott? He said Stephen Jones on Ezekiel Elliott. He didn't mention nothing about no damn money. He just said Stephen Jones, Ezekiel Elliott. I want that guy on my team. Play through some injuries. He's a competitor. He shouldn't have been starting when he was hurt. Obviously, his money is guaranteed. Oh, so what everything I've been saying, that's the reason why I stayed in that lineup. Nobody talked about the money, but you have. Obviously, his money is guaranteed. He's going to be here. There is no question. We're fortunate to have him, of course. And this ain't about Ezekiel Elliott. Before you get to jumping up and screaming and all that, this ain't about no Ezekiel Elliott. This is about how money will keep you in the lineup. On the right tackle position. Steele was better than playing in Collins, but who's got the money? And he's going to start. You got Ezekiel Elliott. He was hurt. Tony Pollard was available to do more damage, but he didn't. You know why? Because obviously his money is guaranteed. He's going to be here. And that's what he's talking about. It's all about the money with these Joneses. Them making more money, and I don't know what's up for the fans. Same old boys, same old Joneses, and that's why I call you baby nuts. But let me get off of here. Make sure you check out the next video. Video coming soon. All right. I got some good, interesting stuff. Some good non-Cowboy stuff getting ready to come up. Good interviews getting ready to come up. So make sure you tune in to the Big Game James. You know what it is. Peace.